Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Boa noite. Fantastic that you all came here tonight para estar juntos con nosotros toda una noche completa de música.
Largest river in Europe. It winds through Slovakia for about 172 kilometers and serves as a border between Slovakia, Austria, and Hungary. The total length of the river is 2,800 kilometers. For about 22 kilometers, the river flows exclusively through the territory of Slovakia. In the past, the Danube used to be an important travel arm, with the first records dating back to the 10th century. Danube voyages increased in the 19th century, and the first steamboat reached Bratislava in 1830. The average water level is 380 centimeters. Until it was regulated, the Danube posed a big threat for the citizens of Bratislava because it flooded quite often. The highest level of the river was 984 centimeters in the year 1954, resulting in a damaging flood. In comparison, in 2002, when the river reached approximately the same level, Bratislava stayed almost untouched by water because of existing regulations. We saw the lowest water level in 1985. In that year, the water was just 25 centimeters in some places, so it was possible to cross the Danube on foot. Information about the history of Bratislava. People have inhabited this area since the Stone Age. On the right bank of the Danube, evidence proving that Bratislava and the Danube marked the northern border of the Roman Empire through the 1st through the 4th century has been found. Afterward, in the 5th or 6th century, the first Slovak tribes arrived in Bratislava. Because of frequent attacks by Avars, the Slavic tribes unified and created the Samo Empire, and would later establish Great Moravia. This empire perished in the year 907. In 907, there was a significant battle under the Bratislava castle, in which the Hungarians beat the Bavarian army. Hungary took over the eastern part of Great Moravia, Arpads took the throne, and Stephen I became the first Hungarian king. Arpads ruled the country for 300 years. There are signs of frequent battle in the 13th century, of Tartar attacks from Asia. The city, as one of few in the country, was able to defeat the attacks. In 1291, Hungarian King Andrew III gave Bratislava the rights of a self-governing loyal city, and also important rights for its citizens. In the 13th century, many German settlers came here on an invitation from the king. Andrew III died without leaving an heir. Several families exchanged the Hungarian throne. First Anjou, then Sigmund Luxembourg, thanks to a royal marriage, and later Maciej Korwin took over the rule. Under this rule, Bratislava became the richest city in Hungary. After his death, the weak family of Jagr took the Hungarian throne. After the defeat of the Hungarian army by the Turk Set Mohacs in 1526, Turks took over 2/3 of the country. The king died in battle. The throne was taken by the Habsburger family, which ruled the country until the year 1918. On the left side is the Church of the Holy Trinity. This Baroque church was built in the 18th century. Originally, it had much higher towers than the flat ones it has now. Shortly after 1805, many of the Baroque church towers in Hungary were demolished. Copper was Now we are passing through Obchodna, or Trade Street. During the 14th century, the population grew so much that new districts arose before the city walls. One of them was the Schendorf district, currently Obchodna Street. Here, houses were built by various craftsmen. Because they produced pollution, they were located behind the town walls. On this street were the houses of the candle makers, blacksmiths, and ceramic craftsmen. At the end of the street was a brothel. The executioner maintained the brothel as well as all the houses, all the canals, and he also exterminated these places of insects and rats. He was also responsible for the heating of the town hall, and, believe it or not, he also acted as a local veterinarian and secret doctor. In 1741, Maria Theresia was crowned as Hungarian queen in Bratislava. At the time, the country was in a period of uncertainty. German states and European empires wanted to deny her heritage rights. Prussian soldiers marched into a part of the country, Silesia, without declaring war. But Austria was very lucky to have an empress with such natural diplomatic talent and judgment, charm and energy. In June 1741, the empire's aristocracy came to Bratislava, where the emperor confirmed privileges and concessions to the nobility. In September, she appeared before the aristocracy again, this time with the 6-month-old heir to the throne in her arms. Not as a proud empress elected by God's will, but as a mother with tears in her eyes, she started to renounce representatives of the Hungarian nobility. Alone and attacked from every side, she had only one hope: the hope for bravery and faithfulness from her Hungarian nobles. After these sentences, the nobles took their swords and swore, "Let us die for our queen Maria Theresia." They kept their word. Maria Theresia gained fortune and an army. The nobility provided her, as the first among the Habsburgers, with enough support to defend the whole empire, not only Hungary. This is Radlinskeho Street. It used to be a field street where the wine dressers and the truckers lived. On the left, there are the buildings of the Slovak Technical University, the chemical, agricultural, and architectural faculty. The vineyard companies were also located here, as well as the company of Hubert and Fischer. They specialized in making champagne and deliver their wines to the nobles and royal families. On the right, you can see the houses of the state hospital from the year 1857. Now we are approaching the former suburb called Bloomington, a religious district established in 1770. On the right-hand side is the Bloomington Church, built in the 18th century in the form of neo-Romanesque basilica. Its tower is 67 meters high. It is devoted to the Assumption of the Virgin Mary. On the left side is the complex of buildings of the Slovak Technical University, built in the form of two H's standing opposite each other. It was established in 1936. Today, the building belongs to the engineering and architectural faculties. In the middle, between the two buildings, is a rare archaeological site from the Celtic period, 400 years before Christ. It is one of the 18 sites from the Celtic period in Bratislava. On the right side, there is the largest building in town, the Central Bank of Slovakia. It has 33 above ground and 3 underground floors and is 111 meters high. There are 23 elevators, and of these, 6 express elevators are located in the round side of the building. On top, there is a helipad. The building has its own source of electricity, a small power plant that can immediately provide the building with electricity. On the right-hand side is the building of the Slovak Radio, an interesting building from a technical point of view, as it is in the form of an upside-down pyramid and was the first steel building in Slovakia. The construction started in 1967. It has been actively transmitting radio since 1985. The small building in front of the pyramid is the concert hall of the Slovak Radio, with a capacity of 600 people. On the left side, we can see the Ministry of Traffic, Post and Telecom. Slovakia is an industrially developed country. A smaller part of the active labor force works in agriculture, while more than 50% work in the service sector. Industry is widely developed and is now shifting from heavy industry to light industry. Besides nuclear and other energy production, the automotive, chemical, and machinery industries play major roles in the Slovak economy. Slovakia produces the largest number of cars per citizen worldwide. There are 3 big automobile factories in Slovakia: Volkswagen in Bratislava, the PSA Peugeot, Citroën, and Kia Motors in Žilina. This square's name means the Square of Liberty. The buildings behind the park are the Department of Machinery, the Chemical Technology Department, and the Technical Library. In the middle of the square is the Fountain of Friendship, with a sculpture named the Flower of Friendship in the form of a linden tree, the symbolic tree of the Slavs. It is the largest fountain in Bratislava, and the diameter of the flower is 9 meters. There were vineyards on the square in the Middle Ages. In the 17th century, the vineyards were replaced by the square in front of the Archbishop's summer palace, which you can see on the right side. The palace is from 1614 and was built by the Archbishop Francis Forgach. In the 17th century, Primas Juraj Liptai had a luxurious Renaissance garden with fountains, sculptures, and a summer house built behind the palace. In the 18th century, the palace was rebuilt in a Baroque style according to a project by the imperial builder Hillebrand. The Archbishop Imrich Esterházy had a chapel built in 1740, in which decorative frescoes were created by Italian artist Antonio Galli Bibbiena. After moving the Archbishop to Esztergom, the palace became a hospital until 1939. Today, it is the seat of the government of the Slovak Republic.